Ride the lightning.
That started recording at the perfect time. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line as he does every Friday on the show, his name is Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend. He talks about movies, writes about movies, and is not a carpenter, apparently.
A little reference to I'm having a dishwasher put in because when we moved into this new house, there was no dishwasher. So, and we've already went pretty long without a dishwasher at the apartment because it was lame. It didn't work well.
Yeah.
So I've been hand washing for quite a while.
Okay.
Those days are coming to an end soon because we just had the carpenters and the electricians in to make the space, make all the connections. They basically had to cut out some of the cabinet space and reinforce it with the shelves that they pulled out so that way they could put the dishwasher in.
Oh, so you had some major reconstruction then.
Not too major. No, they didn't have to cut up the countertop.
Okay.
They just had to basically drill some holes in, and they pulled out the shelves, no problem. I think they cut out the bottom, and now it's just a matter of hooking it up through the plumber on Saturday morning, and we're done.
Cool. Well, good deal. I hope you get your dishwasher figured out. As we do make our way into the normal version of the podcast where we talk about movies and stuff, right before us, I'm like, you know what? I want to go into this completely unprepared, so that's kind of what we're doing today. I know the movie that we're talking about, there's going to be more time travel involved here. We'll be talking about what movie at the end of this?
Well, I don't think we'll have to do time travel because I don't think I'm going tonight.
Well, son of a bitch.
The big movie that's opening this weekend is Plane with Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter from Luke Cage.
All right. This is the one that, so let's just talk about it now then. This is the one that...
Yes, because I love your theory.
This is the one that I said sounds like Hollywood executives had the wheel on the wall and they're like, all right, we need an actor. Spin the wheel. It's Gerard Butler. All right, we need what's his occupation? He is a pilot. Okay, all right. Is this, what type of movie is it? Action movie. Okay. It sounds like that.
Oh, now see, I thought your whole pitch was Gerard Butler had his own wheel like this.
No.
Because I was totally convinced that this is just a wheel that Gerard Butler or John Travolta or anybody who does a lot of movies has this wheel. And it's like, okay, what am I playing this time?
No.
I'm a pilot. Do I get to keep my accent? No. Okay.
Although you could do that with it. You really could with this movie. But no, I was saying more from the we're making it point of view. We don't have any ideas, so we're just going to do this.
Ah, gotcha.
So are you hearing good things about it? Or, I mean, it looks like a Gerard Butler movie.
I've heard... I'm not hearing a lot. I mean, the one I did see a friend of mine write that it's all turbulence and no takeoff.
Is that the tagline for it? All turbulence, no takeoff?
Not what my friend wrote for his rundown movie, and it's like, maybe I can work for this.
All right, so playing this weekend, we don't know a ton about it. I am looking at the Wikipedia page.
Oh, we know the basic story.
Yeah, but I was looking at it, but in November 2020, it was an abandoned project after failing to obtain production insurance that would cover a COVID-19 outbreak.
Oh, now that I didn't see.
Yeah, that's
a really interesting...
Yeah, so that's from Wikipedia. The full sentence is in November of 2019, Lionsgate Film acquired distribution rights of the film, but in 2020, it abandoned the project after failing to obtain the insurance that would cover a COVID outbreak, as the studio did not want to risk the film's $50 million budget. In May,
$50 million to make this movie?
However, in May of 2021, Lionsgate reacquired the rights to the plane, and yeah. There you go. So this is a movie that's been around the block a little bit.
Yeah, I did not know that one bit. Was there any alternate casting that was sort of thrown in there?
This is really good podcast material, by the way, as I'm reading
it
off.
It looks, honestly, it does look like something that would be fun to maybe watch on the couch with some friends, have a beer. There's literally a line in the trailer where I guess Gerard Butler does something badass, and then Tony Goldwyn plays the hostage negotiator in this, and he's like, I like this guy. And it's like, it's not, and what's really funny is I just saw a quote somewhere someone said that told Gerard Butler he's been called the king of the B movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, I never heard that before. I always thought myself as the king of the A- movie. And I would kind of say Olympus Has Fallen. I guess that's an A- movie because it's obviously not something that's huge. And, it's not this big awards contender that you could write like paragraphs on how it got developed. These are people that probably wanted to make Die Hard in the White House, went and did it. And not only was it one of the most brutal movies I had seen at that time, but it was so much damn fun to watch Gerard Butler do that thing.
There's some of those movies.
Gerard Butler is just fun to watch.
Yeah, this may be one of those movies that it's dumb and it's not very good, but it's fun.
Yeah, obviously. But it just looks like look. You've got King Leonidas and Luke Cage fighting to save a plane full of hostages on an island, or some random island they landed on that's engulfed in a civil war. That's all you need to know. If you dig that, go see it. If not, Megan's still running.
And Kelly Gale's in this.
And who is Kelly Gale?
Is a Swedish model of Indian and Australian descent. She is playing Katie in the movie.
And what, pray tell, possessed you to grace us with such knowledge?
I was looking at the cast and I saw that. She's fairly attractive.
She was apparently a Victoria's Secret model too.
Yeah. So say she's
there's your meat and potatoes fan base right there. Just gobble it up, folks.
Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies. Okay, so we don't know much about Plane, but it is what it is. Well, if we see it, we'll talk about it more next week. That's kind of the only movie this week, right?
That's at least the only movie I really can think of. I mean,
okay.
we're still in a point of the year where everybody's kind of still waking up, so to speak, and plus a lot of people I think are still trying to stay away from Avatar as much as possible. Although, funny enough, Titanic is coming back to theaters on Valentine's Day weekend.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
And it's coming back because it was done in 3D. Like back, I want to say 10 years ago when it was the 15th anniversary, they did a 3D version. And then what they're doing now is it's a remastered 4D. I know it's a 4K 3D version, kind of like what they did with Avatar, because I think they're preparing to put it back on home video again in 4K. And I am actually interested to go see it because it's been forever since I've seen Titanic. I've never seen the 3D version, and I've never seen this movie with my wife. So I'm very interested to see what comes of this with us going to see it together.
I saw Titanic in the theater twice. The first was, this is going to be really funny, it was with my dad, because we thought it was supposed to be more about the ship and the sinking. We had no idea the love story involved. So we went and saw that.
Oops.
The second time I went and saw it was with a girl named Amy. We went on a date.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just the second time I saw it. Nothing really came of it. I am still friends with Amy, though.
Fuck, I thought you were actually going to go further with that. It's like we went on a date, and then this happened, and we really didn't like the movie.
Dude, I don't kiss and tell. And there wasn't that, but yeah, that's the second time. That's the second person I went to that movie with. So
man, we really should have brought this up in December because I think that was the actual 25th anniversary.
Okay.
And now it's just being re-released for Valentine's Day because you get that extra love money.
The theater I saw it at, saw it at it twice. It was what was it called? It was the Riverfront, I believe. It's where our arena now stands here in.
Oh wow!
They tore it down. Boy, I think that was the name of it. I'm trying to look it up quick, but yeah, it was right down in downtown.
I always hate when stuff like that happens.
Yeah. Sorry, it kind of the spur of the moment thing. But yeah, that's where I saw it. That was a lot of fun. But anyways, hey, you know what? Speaking of other movies that are in theater right now, and I don't know why, but there's been a pickup on the advertising for the Tom Hanks one, right?
A Man Called Otto?
Yeah.
Well, that went wide last weekend, I think. Either last week? No.
December 30th.
This weekend. That it's going into that. Well, that was New York and LA and limited theaters. It's going wide this month. So now they're picking up because it's like, hey, you normies can go see this in a theater near you. I do want to go see it.
No, it looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. I just, I've just noticed a ton of, advertising for it. And it was the River Hills Theater and the Riviera Theater here in Des Moines. It was demolished in March of 2002 in the Wells Fargo Arena. It has been built on the site.
Boo! But, I had progress and all that. But on some nights when you stand in the stadium, you can still hear the sounds of the Titanic drifting in the wind.
Oh, it's funny, as my dad always told a story how he went and saw the Woodstock movie there, and how people were going up and laying on the floor underneath the screen during the movie.
Of course, because they were probably the people that were there to experience it.
Yes.
I wanted to go back.
So, Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com on the line with me right now. All right, so otherwise, other movie news out there. I sent you an article, and I didn't get a chance to read it, but I like the headline. The Golden Globes, basically nobody watched. Is that what I'm reading? I
thought I'd heard that. Well, I took a look. I browsed that article you saw, and I'm honestly, without even looking at the finer details, I'm not surprised.
When was it?
The first time the Golden Globes have been. It was Tuesday. Okay, so here's the first thing. It was Tuesday night. Out of all times. Normally, you have a big award show like this. It's on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
For some reason, someone decided that this was going to happen on a Tuesday. Maybe that's when James Cameron's schedule was open.
No, you know what it was? Because, I bet it was it was the last Sunday. It was the last day of the NFL season.
Woohoo!
Listen, man. I imagine they were trying to stay away from it.
My joke aside, no. That's now that you mentioned that is definitely a. That's a good reason as any, because you could just imagine the whatever NFL telecast is going on, it's probably going to butt right up against the award show.
So,
I mean, those two audiences really don't have that much of an overlap, but it's the Golden Globes. It was their first year back. They probably wanted to maximize as many viewers as possible.
Yeah.
But on top of being on a Tuesday, the awards body is still just not quite favored by people, especially after all of the exposés and the allegations that have been leveled against them, especially the ones from Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about it is, it goes back to like the interest level in it, and the Oscars. Like, the only reason I know anything about that is because of the Will Smith slap. And there was, the Golden Globes come out, and yes, it's not the same award show by any stretch of the imagination. I get it. But I didn't see advertising for it. There was no chatter about it, to a point where it became water cooler talk. There may have been people talking about it, but it wasn't like everybody was really fired up to see the Golden Globes this year. It doesn't seem like.
Honestly, I had some friends in the business who thought that this was the time and the place to have the Critics' Choice Awards move to NBC or move to a bigger network and sort of try to take that spot. But they're still staying on the CW, so we'll see what happens with that. But I think it would have been cool, because then. You have the Critics' Choice Awards, which is another established body, but not many people have watched that show. That might have been a lure for people to jump in. But what the hell do I know? I mean, I didn't tell my Titanic story.
I'm just looking at some of the winners for this. The one that sticks out.
Well, Colin Farrell, if I'm not
the best television series drama, House of the Dragon. Really, the boringest show of all of those. Won.
I'm trying to think of what other shows.
Better Call Saul, The Crown, Ozark, and Severance on Apple TV.
Yeah, that was really surprising that House of the Dragon won, because especially because Better Call Saul was in its final season.
Yeah, and everybody
that's one that
loves
has won
show.
So many awards before it. And then Austin Butler wins for Elvis Best Actor, which, don't get me wrong, Austin Butler was a fantastic Elvis. I will give that movie that. But obviously Brendan Fraser didn't win for obvious reasons. But other than that, I don't know who I would have given it to, but I wouldn't have given it to Austin Butler.
The Fabelmans won Best Picture.
Yeah, Best Drama. And then I believe Banshees of Inisherin won Best Musical or Comedy, which that movie is good, but this is another one of those cases where you see how loosey-goosey people get when they submit movies, because I think the Banshees of Inisherin is more of a drama with comedic undertones.
Yeah.
But it had a better chance of winning in the musical or comedy section because, obviously Top Gun Maverick was going to be nominated and Avatar The Way of Water was going to be nominated.
Yeah. All right. Is this a growing trend with these award shows that just people aren't watching them anymore, that people don't care?
I mean, I really can't say. I think it's been something that's talked about for a while, and a lot of people like to fall back on the argument of, well, maybe if you nominated more popular movies, you would, get more viewers. And really, it just has to come down to, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this to grant awards, to actually reward achievement, or are you doing this just to get people to tune in, because you can obviously pull. I mean, I still don't get how Avatar gets nominated for best drama. I'm sorry. I still don't. And I had heard stories about some awards boards pushing their voting deadlines just to get to the first screening of that movie. And yeah, it's a big blockbuster and it makes lots of money. But you know what? If you really want to go by that, I would say Jurassic World Dominion should have had that spot instead.
Maybe. I don't know, man. I go back to, was it Ricky Gervais that kind of made fun of the whole award show thing during one of his deals?
Well, yeah, because he was hosting the Golden Globes for a couple of years and was like taking no prisoners.
Like some of this, like I don't always agree with everything he says, but in that instance, like some of the stuff he would say, it's like, yeah, you're kind of right. Take your award and leave.
Anyone talking about awards shows, it's a can of worms on all ends. I just wish it was more exciting and more fun, but yeah.
Okay, that's the Golden Globes for y'all. Really interesting stuff there, especially when we get done. We're like,
like this used to be something that people would look towards as a precursor for award season. But then all of the stuff about not only just misconduct, but the fact that there's apparently like money that changes hands to get I'm not going to make any allegations, but there's allegations on whether or not bribery comes into play, or set visits, or access, or all this other stuff. And not to mention, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is a much smaller group than the Oscars. This is a small group compared to the Oscars.
I remember when I was doing morning radio that when award shows came around, that was like a big talking point, like before and after, because, obviously you talk about, who's nominated, who you think should win. And then, afterwards it's like, oh, I can't believe Titanic lost, or, what have you. So a lot of Titanic today.
Before I circle back to Titanic myself, I will say already with the Oscars, the Batman did not make the short list for best original score.
Really?
And I think that's a huge mistake, because now it's just out of the running. It's not going to get nominated. And Michael Giacchino's work on that was fantastic. It deserves a nomination.
All right. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies. What else is going on? What else do we want to talk about today? The floor is yours, so to speak.
Well, I'm going to go back to Megan, because there was this really interesting thing I did this week where they opened up a chatbot, and you go to the Twitter feed for Megan, you can DM with her, and it gets creepy. It does get creepy, but it's very fun when it comes to being creepy. And it asks you to record videos, and it'll take your voice for other videos that it sends you later. There's prompts that you answer, and it asks you, what were you most afraid of as a kid? And I want to tell you a bedtime story. What's your favorite animal? Where's your favorite place to run away to? And then it just goes sinister with it.
All right. Well, whatever, I guess. Have you done it?
Wow. I mean, yeah, I was just talking about my experience, and apparently that wasn't as exciting as, they tore down the theater I saw Titanic in.
Oh, so it's like that then.
Yeah. Apparently the Golden Globes were more exciting than my story.
Wow.
Which is saying something, folks.
So, where do you
on the soda?
Speaking of soda.
I was just about to prompt you on that.
No, seriously, go back to the Megan thing real quick. Where can we see that?
Well, you go to the official Megan Twitter feed and just DM her and enjoy the fun.
Okay. Truth be told, I was looking at something else on CinemaBlend's website. I legitimately was, and it's just something I can't believe. So.
Oh, what'd you see?
Bad Baby has made over $50 million from joining OnlyFans at 18.
It's a burgeoning market. I mean, you've also got Denise Richards on there, too.
I know. The girl that started on, what's it called?
Dr. Phil.
Yeah, Dr. Phil.
It's a wild new frontier, man. I mean,
so
we really are in a subscribers market.
Well,
How is it frustrating to you?
It's just, I don't want to go into it.
Well,
it's not.
Sure. There's something to be said here.
The whole thing of how she got started, and all of that, and how it's just there seems like there are more deserving people out there than her.
But at the same time, it's an open market, it's a
I
public
know.
market, and people apparently, she's got that X factor to
I
them.
guess. I don't want to talk about her anymore. I'd rather talk about the Golden Globes in depth, in person, with you staring me dead in the eye.
Oh, no, if we were talking in person, I think it would be even more fun.
It could be. It could be. Hey, real quick, speaking of award shows, and I think it was at the Golden Globes, did you see Eddie Murphy, what he said? The shot he took at Will Smith?
I heard about it, but I did not hear what he said.
Very well done, Eddie Murphy. Very well done. He basically goes through and he gives his 3 steps to success. And it's like, pay your taxes, mind your business, and you keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Or I can't remember how he said it, if he cussed or not, but it was very funny.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's classic Eddie Murphy there. That is classic Eddie Murphy. Not just in like, I'm not just saying that as like, the whatchamacallit. Like, oh, that's classic Eddie Murphy. Like, that is literally classic, like, his stand-up days coming out.
All right, let me ask you this, since we're all over the place today. Eddie Murphy, if he's going to bring back one of his movies, and I know there's, talks of another Beverly Hills Cop and, some of that kind of stuff, but if he was going to bring back one of his classic movies and do and Coming to America, obviously out because they already did that, but what movie would you want to see him bring back?
See, I don't know, because you basically just killed the conversation with the fact that Coming to America has already been done. Beverly Hills Cop is currently being made for a 4th film. And, I mean, you can't really do a sequel to Trading Places, because that'd be another Coming to America scenario where it's just, why do this?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to bring back Nutty Professor, because why? We did that twice already. And it was best you just did it the first time.
I think that... Oh, how about a Golden Child 2?
I never even saw Golden Child 1.
You didn't see Golden Child?
No, I didn't know it was required viewing.
Oh, it's awesome. Now somebody get down here and turn on the damn lights. Oh, God.
I'll have to take your word for that.
We had a lot of fun watching Golden Child. That was a lot of fun.
I'll have to try and catch it at some point.
So, all right, we'll leave it there for this week. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joins me every week to talk about movies. That's going to do it for us. You can find out more about them at the bottom of the page or CinemaBlend.com. Mike, you have yourself a great weekend, okay?
You too, man.